2023. We propose to rescind 2016 Capital Reserve Fund. As I stated in my letter, if need be, we will have to work with the state on the issue of renewal levies. I had the opportunity last week to take a look at other 1545 park districts across the state of Ohio and how they've had to handle ballot issues. So looking back to, I had data looking back to November 2010 through the most recent vote by voters in May of 2023. I looked at renewal, replacement, and additional levies. Out of 151 total ballot issues in that period, November 10th to May 2023, 65 of those 151 ballot issues were put on as renewal levies by our sister organizations. So that's 43% that were put on by our sister 1545 organizations as renewal levies. So we will work with the state, hopefully develop a plan moving forward. Any other questions on that correspondence? All right. Now we'll go ahead and move on. Resolution 7, 2023, to rescind the 2016 Capital Reserve Fund. The resolution reads, Resolution rescinding 2016 Capital Reserve Fund, number 4901, whereas the Geauga Park District by Resolution 516 established a Capital Reserve Fund under Ohio Revised Code 5705.13C at a special meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners coinciding with the Budget Commission hearing on August 24, 2015, whereas the Capital Reserve Fund, otherwise referenced as the 2016 Capital Improvement and Land Acquisition Fund for the 2016 CILA, was restricted and dedicated solely for the purpose of accumulating resources for the acquisition, construction, or improvement of fixed assets of the Geauga Park District for an amount not to exceed $3,500,000, whereas monies were transferred into the Capital Reserve Fund from the General Fund, whereas since 2016, the Capital Reserve Fund has been utilized to acquire, construct, or improve fixed assets of the Geauga Park District at 4 assets identified in the original fund, with capital improvements at Maple Highlands Trail, Clarendon Woodlands, Over Hollows, and the Westwoods, whereas in preparation of the Geauga Park District's tax budget for fiscal year 2024, in consideration of the Ohio Attorney General's opinion dated December 14, 2022, and in reliance upon guidance from the Ohio Auditor of State, the Park Board desires to rescind the Capital Reserve Fund and return the remaining accumulated resources therein to the general fund from which they came, or from which the money was transferred pursuant to Section 5705.13 of the Ohio Revised Code. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Park Commissioners of the Geauga Park District, Geauga County, Ohio, that after meeting in regular session today, we're proposing to rescind Resolution 5, 2023, 5, 2016, and the Capital Reserve Fund labeled as 4901. The Geauga Park District Fiscal Officer and Treasurer is hereby authorized to close the Capital Reserve Fund labeled 4901 and deposit the remaining accumulated resources of $89,189.80 to the fund from which the monies came from, and from which they were transferred to, with the general fund labeled 1000 of the Geauga Park District. And the Geauga Park District Executive Director is hereby directed to certify a copy of this resolution to the Geauga County Auditor. And last, is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of the Board of Park Commissioners of Geauga Park District concerning and relating to the passage of the resolution were adopted in an open meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners of the Geauga Park District, and that all deliberations of the Board of Park Commissioners of the Geauga Park District that resulted in formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of Ohio Revised Code. That's why I had you read one. So, thank you. With that, entertain resolution number 7, 2023, to rescind 2016 Capital Reserve Fund. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Frank. Any questions, any comments? Next up is a 2024 tax budget draft. We have Don Sweeney, our fiscal officer, make mention of the proposed fund balances associated with our 2024 tax budget. This is just a draft for your consideration. We will bring it back in June for a formal vote and formal action. So, all right, Dawn, go ahead. Thank you.
So as you will see on the summary sheet, we have the actual unaudited figures for 21 and 22. We have our estimates for 23 and 4. Based on that, we estimate that we'll be ending the general fund with $1,619,696.77 at the end of the year. And starting up with that in 2024, we're also estimating about $7,573,575 in revenue in the general fund. And expenditures will be about $7,221,763.83, leaving us with $1,971,507.94. In land improvement, we anticipate ending this year with a fund balance of $1,491,571. And we also anticipate receiving revenue and land improvement from the grants, various grants that we will be receiving those funds from in both this year and next year. So that is being shown in the revenue. And we're also showing a transfer from land improvement into the general fund. And ending the land improvement fund with $1,304,966. And all of these other funds have been closed out, the capital reserve, the retirement reserve, and the K-9 funds after this year, so.
Thank you, Dawn. I'll give you a month to take that into consideration and ask you to approve it at the June meeting. One of the things that stands out to me is consistently our general property tax revenue has hovered between $6 to $7 million a year. The estimate for 2024 is $6,662,575. So if you look at our expenditures and some of our other revenue sources, I just want to give credit to our staff and some of these incredible grants that they seek out. They were able to receive an award, and that's why we like to make mention of them in the monthly financial statement. These are large sums of money that result in product in the ground. We pursued a grant for the Westwoods Bridge. We were successful. We pursued a grant to expand Hoover College. We were successful. $159,000 for reforestation grant at Veterans Legacy Woods. So extremely proud of staff in writing these grants, looking and being creative to find these other sources of revenue and these other sources of funds to be able to think creatively about how to do business. They definitely go above and beyond. So another big thank you to staff. So any immediate questions on the tax budget? All right, we'll bring it back to you in June. Next item on the agenda, surplus property. Entertain a motion to declare, I'm sorry, I skipped over something. For the tax budget, your Schedule B there, which references the real estate tax collection. We use the 98% tax collection column, that is that $6,662,575. Also, in there we have a 5-year capital improvement plan project that will be submitted along with our tax budget to the Budget Commission, have it showing placeholders, monetary placeholders for the projects that are slated over the next 5 years. So that is there for your consideration. All right, now moving on to surplus property. Entertain a motion to declare the following item as surplus property: a 2008 Kubota zero-turn mower, 2 old Olympus style cameras, and a lot of